It is Friday morning. It is wake and bake. I baked more than I waked. Oh my gosh. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is one of those days where it's a true blue wake and bake. As you can tell, I just woke. You watched me just baked. Baked. It's funny. Waked and baked. I love it. Good morning, Miss Heather Johns. Good morning. My internet is acting stupid this morning, so there's a delay. I apologize. I took me forever to get the intrawebs to actually work. It also could be user error because let's just be honest about it. Night before last, I had my little lemon cake and I said, I'm gonna tell y'all the whole truth. Go back to that in a second. I need a minute because I literally just woke up. If you're just jumping on here today, just like Heather Johns did, please say good morning. Please say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. We are live in a couple of places today. First, the Hometown Hippie Elevated Edibles Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel, which we are trying to bolster up. And if you're not on YouTube, if you're not on my YouTube already, please go over, give it a like on the videos, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to build that channel up a little bit to add some new fun features over on the YouTube channel. It'll be redesigned once I get some inventory over there of videos. So, as you know, this week's new special was the individual lemon pound cakes, the little mini pound cakes. And lemon pound cakes are one of my favorite things. So a lot of y'all saw, night before last, I needed some sleep. And what did I do? So Melanie Lewis tagging people. I love it. So I ate the pound cake, and I said to myself, just like I tell y'all, I cook with intention, and that you should set an intention before eating your edible if you have specifically something in mind. Night before last, I was stressed because I was tired from working. Chess had hurt herself, and I just said, give me some restorative sleep, pain-free. Like I was setting an intention of sleep and no pain on night before last. And poor Chesapeake. Night before last, the night she hurt herself, she whimpered and she couldn't get up. Like she couldn't push up to stand on her legs because of the injury. And my brain started reeling, like she needs water and where she's going to the bathroom. And oh my gosh, she's hurting. And how do I help her? And with kids or with people, like they can speak and tell you, right? When you get kids to an age where, they can use word, like, what are your words? And they can tell you it's hurting, but your dog can't, right? And I'm not like saying, well, kids are okay. I'm saying like, for me, it was frustrating because, she couldn't say like, I'm okay, go to sleep. I'm gonna be fine. I'm just like miserable right now. She just seemed like something was wrong. Like I was like, crap. So, the sleep part did not happen so much on Wednesday night. Not like I'd wanted it to, right? Was it Thursday night? Yeah, Thursday night. Wednesday night. And I came live for What's Up Wednesday. I was already kind of tired. The whole thing happened with her, and I got no sleep. So yesterday, luckily, I was able to hold good space, right? And I feel like, and this is what I'm going to tell y'all, this is the funny part. So have you ever seen that TikTok video, right? So tell me, like, give me some thumbs up, some hearts, if you ever seen the TikTok video where they go, Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate, 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 right? They do the Holy Spirit activate thing. So Wednesday night, I'm thinking the lemon pound cake had already kicked in, but I didn't know, like I was being silly. And Chesapeake was finally like 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning. She was like, she's like laying in her bed versus like on the floor. Like I'm like, you have beds. Why are you laying on the hard floor? So she was like, had gotten in her floor. Like she wasn't like seeming like she was taking she was resting about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I was laying in bed and I was like, okay. And you know, your adrenaline's kind of pumping from all the like worry and all the things. And you're like, oh, I really need just a couple hours and nothing else. And I was laying in bed and all of a sudden I went, lemon pound cake, activate lemon pound cake. I was like trying to activate the lemon pound cake like at 4 o'clock in the morning. Not sure if it worked, but I will tell you what did work, and I can still feel it. That's why I'm like this at 9:15 in the morning versus up and already doing stuff at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Usually, Red leaves around 7:29 and kisses me goodbye, and then that's kind of when I wake up, and then I do my 30 minutes between when he leaves and 8 o'clock is when I do my morning in bed meditation, my pre wake up meditation, and that between 7:30 and 8. Then at 8, I kind of meander around, get ready for like a live at 9, look at this stuff, make some coffee. Just 8 to 9 is kind of like Tammy time, right? Maybe do another like, thing. But last night we got back from the vet, which was a fiasco. I love you too. Um, we got back from the vet, which was the fiasco, cooked dinner, all the things, and I was like, okay, I am ready for bed. I need to do something. So I'm gonna eat a lemon pound cake. And then I was thinking to myself, that thing did not knock me out like I wanted it to. Even I don't trust me it was hurt, but like it did not knock me out. And it rained the last couple of days. If anybody has arthritis, like rain and arthritis, not going together good. So I've had a chocolate peanut butter egg, like the dark chocolate, but I've not had a white chocolate peanut butter egg. And white chocolate is my favorite. Like that's my mother-in-law makes like the old school church ones without the fun. And she always asks, what do y'all want, dark chocolate or white chocolate? And I always get white chocolate. So I was like, I'm gonna have a white chocolate egg. Like I'm gonna have an egg. Like everybody talks about the eggs. I know the dark chocolate what it did to me, and I need that tonight. So I ate the white chocolate egg. So I ate the egg. And I don't know about Heather. I'm telling you, it's been tough. I've been a struggle. I've been on a struggle bus, but I've been getting it done. Like I've been like, why not me? Right? Shoulders, hips, everything. Right? So we ate the egg. About 30 minutes after I ate the egg, Red and I were still, and he's on here. He'll tell you, we're still in the living room, and I'm still high. I'm not gonna lie. This thing's still kicking my ass. So I ate that thing about 9 o'clock last night because I'm like, I'm going to sleep my head off. I am going to sleep my head off. I need it. I'm tired. I said a meditation last night. I was like, I'm calling in all my angels, gods, and helpers, all that are there to assist me. I'm asking tonight, not for answers to questions, not for revelations, not for abundance. I was like, but I am asking for deep restorative healing sleep. Activate this edible that I ate to help it work with my cannabinoid system. I went through and did a medical discussion with my angels, gods, and helpers, and work through my body, heal me at a cellular level, focusing in on the areas when I was doing I was so high I could do that focused, strong, word heal this arm. I was really in the zone, right? I was in the zone of telling my angels, gods, and helpers what I needed, right? I was like, I need wealth of life. And that's what today is about, right? Because I have never had a problem in the world working my ass off for whatever I wanted. I told Red and I were talking about it. I was like, I don't ever worry about getting money. I was like, I don't ever worry about getting money, right? I worry about, I never keep money. I have no problem getting money. But Tammy, keeping money is a really, really, really like challenging task, apparently. I'll make $1,000 and owe 2,000 every freaking week, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just that person. Something comes up. Vet bills. I'm like, I was literally like feeling, I was like, when is it ever gonna be my turn to have it? Just go buy a pair of shoes. I'm like, every week something happens. I was a hot mess on Wednesday night, y'all. A hot ass mess. But last night I thought about it, and I had a friend of mine stop by yesterday, and he stayed for a minute actually, and it was interesting. We were talking about his wife is out of town right now. She's a very good friend of mine. She had borrowed some luggage, and he brought it back by. They had gone on a vacation for spring break with their children. Flew out of the not out of the country, but in the country to an island. Went to Puerto Rico, right? Went down to Puerto Rico, and they were like, we can make money, but we need to spend time with our kids, have experiences, all the things. Her and I talked about that before they left. And she had some things happen. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm not, but they had like some food poisoning on the trip, like a relative that they care for. Like when they were gone, she got injured herself, all kinds of crazy stuff. And, it's frustrating, right? That's what I think about whenever, like, even when Red and I try to go on vacation, when I try to take time off, when I try to take that breath and unwind, right? And have that time, that downtime, it seems like sometimes it's not worth it, right? It seems like sometimes it's not worth it. And it goes back to power versus force, right? Anytime that I've stood in power about allowing myself, like taking time or whatever, it's been wonderful. But when I've tried to feel like I forced a vacation or I forced time off or I forced fun, it didn't feel fun. It felt like a wasted time. And that's what I want to talk about, right? Wealth of life, because people, you can make money. Like I said, I don't chase money because things that chase run from you. I attract. So I know that the universe has always and will always provide for me in a monetary way, I feel like every time there has been I don't get worked up anymore. I used to all the time. It used to be a sore source of contention, but that is one place where I feel like I'm healed. I still feel like there's a little fear of it ending, like the thing that I love, being able to be abundant through something that I love. There's always that fear of like, I'm not worthy and it's going to end, but there's never a fear of not having. I'm like, I will go work at a restaurant and pick up a shift. I will call and I will make money happen. Like I have no problem making some money. Like I can always make $1, right? And honestly, anybody, if you really think about it, can do that, right? There's always, when there's a will, there's a way. But, right? But how often do we worry more about making a life than making $1? Making memories, right? And that's the wealth of life. And I work like I work right now because I know that I can be uncomfortable in this building state to be able to then enjoy the wealth of life. But things that come up that make you remember that you're not promised tomorrow, right? You need to make sure that there's a balance. And I'm going to tell y'all what, I'm going to talk about this in a second too. There's a balance, right, between doing what has to be done, building, because there's nothing wrong with building for tomorrow, providing like a legacy. And that's what I really want to do, is build this legacy, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a drive and putting in the work and doing the things. But there's also nothing wrong with resting. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the view while you're there. I tell y'all, I get a lot of like thoughts and ideas and epiphanies from things I hear, because I very much believe that I'm clairaudient, which means that my angels, guides, and helpers give me my intuition through things. When I hear something, it triggers. When I was growing up, like I didn't even realize it, but like spelling words and things like that, if someone said them, if I heard them, if I said them out loud, if they were in a song, if they had some kind of like, I could remember them. when I was a server, I didn't have to write anything down. If I listened, I could take up to 12 orders. Actually, I could take up to 11 orders. The 12th order, I would forget the first order. So I remember things in sets of 11. So again, 11, 11. Well, it's always popped up for me, weirdly enough. But I heard something the other day, and it was a show that a new show I've been watching, and the talks about this guy, and he's the idea is that there's two friends talking, and one friend is telling the other friend that there's this new adventure that they're doing, this new thing, right? And every time he gets like a new business venture, he's very like passionate about it, and he's very like all in and like laser focused. And then when he achieves it, it's just that it's not enough, and he moves to the next thing. And he was stressing out because this thing that they were building, it's that Lakers show, like the guy buying the Lakers, Jerry Buss, right? And he was like, what happens when this isn't enough? Like everything's never enough for me. Like it's frustrating. He was kind of doing some soul searching, right? On like, when is it ever enough? When is this thing ever it? And it very much resonated with me in a way that I journaled, and it resonated with me because I am very much an all-in kind of person. I am very passionate, and I can see it, like seeing that behavior, seeing that trait, seeing that laser focus, one track minded kind of thing in somebody else, sometimes shows the ugly in you, right? Sometimes lets you see the things about yourself you don't want to see, and it's weird. Because I saw some things that I'm trying now to be more cognizant and work on. But that's a side note. But what was said in this show that was so profound, besides that, I journaled on that, was that his friend said, when are you going to realize there's more to the cliff than the edge? You deserve to take a step back and enjoy the view. And that just kicked me. I mean, that was like, I got goosebumps, right? There's more to the cliff than the edge. Step back from the edge and enjoy the view for a while. And I feel like sometimes when you have when I have a new project, right? Or whenever something is new and exciting, and I feel like everything is like, I'm like, oh, and I'm like working to get to the edge. Like I'm always trying to push the limits. And that's the edge to me, right? That's the edge of that cliff to me, is pushing the limits. Pushing the limits, pushing the limits, pushing the limits, growing and moving and doing things, and like, oh, and almost falling, oh, and like trying new things and all of the like the adrenaline stuff, right? But sometimes, right? Sometimes when you're at the end of when you're at the cliff, you need to step back. Stop trying to force things. Stop trying to force the right, and stop and enjoy the view. So I am trying, right? I am trying to stop standing on the edge for a minute. I'm going to take a couple steps back off the edge. I'm going to look out and enjoy the view. And that is important to me. I have been, and some of you know because you've gotten it. Some of you don't know because you haven't yet. Maybe you won't. I don't know. It just source moves me. It's very much an IP. So there's no reason to like message me a story, because I've had people do that about why they should be. I'm like, that's not what it's about. Every week or every other week, at least several times a month, I will randomly just either put something extra in a box for somebody. Most of the time it's not extra. It's usually like just a little piece of love mail that says, I've either seen something or something has spoken that person's name, and I've had to go look for like what's going on. There's been love mail going out. And I feel like that like when I get to do love mail and I can actually put love mail in the mail, usually that's one of those things that like gives me a renewed sense of like joy in what I'm doing. Like I always enjoy what I'm doing, but whenever I'm able to do that, I always walk away with in those encounters feeling really, really good and warm. And I'm going to try to do more of those giving things because that's what I realized in last night's restorative sleep, right? Oh, thank you, Heather. Heather says, you are awesome at that, and I have been in the receiving end of one of those messages. I hope you know how much that means. You have no idea how much you mean. You mean a lot to me. And I want to be able to give back more, to be able to do more. And I realize, right, that sometimes when I'm pushing and pushing and pushing and standing on the cliff and right, I don't get to enjoy the view as much. I don't get to enjoy the view as much. And the wealth of life is that view, right? The wealth of life that I'm talking about is finding a balance. And I'm gonna talk about what's in this. Like look at my journal. Don't forget. Don't be like the rest of them, darling, right? Don't be like the rest of them. Um, but I let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. Let's just get into the nitty gritty of it today. So do me a favor in the comments. Um, tag a friend. I know that Heather has been tagging people. I'm not sure if my notices are not going in. Let's see if I can tag a few folks. I thought I had a message on here. I was like, I do have a message on here. Okay, I have to get back to that. That's an actual consultation that I need to do. I'm trying to get in here. Yes. So Heather says that you have made me realize that if you can affect one person a day in a positive way, you've accomplished much. You have accomplished a ton because I'm going to tell you, even those of us who are full of good vibes, love and light, and all the things, yesterday at that vet's office, y'all, I probably impacted a few people's lives in a negative way. Well, I'm looking for this live. I'm gonna tell you that story real quick because I got something I'm gonna tell y'all about, but I want to get some people on here. Just not that one person doesn't matter because it does, but I'm just trying to make sure that the live has got some internet and all the things. Let me. There's people at work on Friday mornings too, right? People are at work on Friday mornings, but we went to the vet yesterday. So I called when the vet opened to get an appointment yesterday. And I said, I have an emergency. My dog was running last night. She went lame, all the things. I was going to tag some more people. So if Gina sees this, I got talking and couldn't continue to do it. So you got tagged today. Tag, you're it, right? So I called. She's like, hey, Katrina, how are you you still in the hospital? I was just going to ask that. Hope you're feeling better. Good. You're coming home tomorrow. That's a good thing. So, I called and they're like, hey, we don't have any appointments this morning, but I can get you in at 3:30 today. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And I was like, I'll just cancel my tomorrow's appointment and take the one today and just get it done. She's like, okay. So then they call back in like 30 minutes, like, hey, your appointment wasn't on Friday. It was today at 3. I was like, well, keep that one and then get rid of the 3:30 that's extra, and we'll see y'all at 3. We get there at 3. They put us back in a room. It's pouring down rain. It was one of those days, just like everything, y'all. 45 minutes later, nobody had acknowledged we were there. Red's like, saying something is not going to make it better. Saying something is not going to make it better. I said, I don't care at this point. I have to say something. I said, the biggest thing is I need to take her out to go to the bathroom because she's got to pee. And number 2, I have to get her some water because she's also very thirsty because her mouth was all like like that white. Her tongue was like kind of dry. So I'm like, I'm gonna take her out, let her go to the bathroom, and tell them that we need some water to see if they forgot about us. Well, then they got an attitude when I asked like how much longer it was gonna be. Like this one girl came out, and I'm gonna tell y'all what. I know why she kind of got an attitude because she knew who I was, and there was a whole thing. I think. Um, I ain't gonna get into it, but I think it's a whole thing. But there's no reason to be nasty to me because something else didn't work out for somebody else. But whatever. Whatever. I assume, and I should not assume. I would rather assume that it was about something personal and she's not that much of an asshole on the regular, but she could just be an asshole. Everyone says, oh, she's so sweet. She wasn't yesterday. She was kind of a bitch yesterday, and I would tell her to her face she was. And I kind of did. But she's like, we had emergencies, Miss Nelson. You're going to have to wait. You're going to be next in line. She just got loud. I was like, number one, you told me this morning that you had no room for emergencies. It was at 8 o'clock this morning. This is exactly what I said. I said, well, at 8 o'clock this morning, my dog was a fucking emergency. And I was like, and y'all didn't have any appointments for that. So if you're going to have me come in here and sit for an hour for other people's emergencies, I take problem with that. I was like, and I mean a real emergency. I said, did you just tell me a real emergency? She's like, the animal's guts were hanging out, is what she said. I was like, well, I'm sorry for that animal, but all you need to do is poke your head into my room and tell me it's going to be a fucking minute. And she was like, I lost it, y'all. I'm not going to lie. And then the doctor came directly into our room, and was like acting like, I'm so sorry. It's been forever. We had to get behind this morning. And I'm like, that's okay. Because I'm thinking to myself, never again, never again. That's what I was thinking. I told the vet, I was like, here's the thing. I get that. I was like, but I've been here 3 times now in 4 weeks because of some shit going on with my dog. I said, and it's not like it's been one time I've had to wait an hour to be seen. Every time I've been here. And then the vet goes, I am so sorry. I only got a half an hour for lunch, and that's just ridiculous. And I looked at her, I was like, lucky you got a fucking lunch. I was done. I used the F-bomb like a comma yesterday. Y'all, when I tell you, I was not loving light and everything nice. No, ma'am, I was not. I lost my cool. When that girl came at me, first she's just saying, we're sorry you had to wait. It shouldn't be too much longer. She just kept saying, you're next in line. I was like, I understand that I'm next in line. I said, is that next in line in 30 minutes? Next in line in 2 hours? I was like, you know what Kings Dominion? I was like, you can wait 5 minutes from this point, which is our amusement park if you don't know what Kings Dominion is. It's like some parts of the line, I was like, you have 5 minutes past this point. Other points of the line, you got 3 hours past this point. Where am I at in that line, even though I'm next? Like, what are you talking about? Did she just go into surgery for this gutted animal? Or like she's like finishing up? Like, where are we at? Like, that it tells me nothing that I'm next in line. I'm assuming that I was in line at 3 o'clock when I had an appointment to be in line. So I'm really confused with what you're telling me, right? I was livid. When she came at me strong, y'all, because I'm like, I am not that person. All I wanted was some communication skills. I get that somebody's animal's got guts hanging out, but I just need to be told that it's 45 minutes. Even the nurse at a doctor's office will come tell you something within, if you know, don't do that to me. And I hate that I did that because I did use the F-bomb and I did not mean to drop the F-bomb like I did, but it came out. I was tired. That lemon pound cake didn't activate like I needed it to. And Red's like, you always make it worse. I was like, and then the vet was like, she was like trying to like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I understand that. And I'm not asking you to explain to me your entire morning of work. That is not my problem. I'm a consumer. When I come in here, my experience should be one that only one that I'm worried about is mine. And I understand that things have happened, but I don't get that. Like, I don't know. Girl, that effort was used for more than emphasis on the right syllable. I'm letting you know, like, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I said it like it was just like nobody's, like it was just the word and. Like, I didn't even flinch when I said it. Because, like, every time I would drop the F-bomb, all of their eyes were like, they had masks on because they were in the vet's office. Every time I said the word F, you could see, like, them go. like, yes, I'm aggravated. I'm like, here, and I told him, I said, I am not even mad. I'm not even mad for me. I'm mad for Chesapeake. You got hard concrete floors. She can't get up. She hates it here. She's anxious. Yeah, that, like, Miss Nelson. Oh, Miss Nelson. I was like, do not act offended. I've seen y'all at bars. I used to own the bars y'all were at. Like, don't do that to me. But that was an aside. That was a bad look. And here's the thing: I'm always that Karen when I act like a Karen. That once it's over with and the whole experience is done, I remind them. I like passive aggressively remind them of their faults. Like, look, I get that you were busy. I get that I had to wait an hour because things happen. But every time I'm here, it's a little ridiculous. So all I'm asking is if you have emergencies, give people a call. Tell me, give me 30 minutes before you come in. Don't make me sit here with my dog and drag her out in the rain earlier than I need to. A courtesy call. If you're running behind, maybe have some then I gave them constructive advice on how to fix the problem that would suit me, right? That would suit me because, I'm the only person in the world that matters, right? So here's how you can suit me. And then I thank them so much and bless their hearts. And I did everything that Dennis's shirt said yesterday other than to drop some farts. And I should have dropped a fart as I walked out. It would have been great. Dropping farts and blessing hearts. I was like, well, bless y'all's heart. And I told Red, I was like, he said, would you make the appointment for follow-up in 2 weeks? I was like, I did not. He was like, well, because I'm finding another vet because I will not go back there again. It's like, oh, I did the damage there yesterday. I was like, if she gets worse, we have to take her back. She'll go back for this because they're treating her for it already. But I don't know. I also felt like, because here's what she walked in and said, because Chesapeake was putting some weight on the foot, and I guess that's a good thing. But I feel a little bit of a fit. And let me tell you what they did. She walked in, she rubbed her leg. She stretched it out, she rubbed it, she did all the things. Then she's like, we had two options. She's like, one, we can sedate her. She's like, y'all can wait a little bit more. Knowing that was like, fuck you, I'm not waiting anymore. No, I'm not doing it. We can sedate her, get an x-ray, either get her in, keep her tonight and do the surgery in the morning, or send her home and then bring her back for surgery. Or we can, we can do a shot today to get some anti-inflammatories on board and some pain medicine, so she can get some rest. You can contain her and keep her as rested as you like. Don't let her run and jump and play or go up and down steps for 2 weeks, and we can send her home with some anti-inflammatories and pain. I said that one. So that's the one, and I felt like she pushed me into that because we were aggravated. They want to get me out of there. How can I get her out of there? So she was in the room for about 4 minutes. That's the first interaction. There was nothing. I think it's probably either a partial tear, because it wouldn't be a full tear. She said, I don't think if she'd be able to put weight on it. She said, but adrenaline is pumping here at the vet's office. She said, so we're gonna try this conservative treatment, and then if it gets any worse or doesn't get any better in a couple of days, then bring her back in. We'll do the x-rays and all that. So I felt very much like she was trying to push me out of there. But at that point, Chesapeake was putting weight on it, which she had not done till we got there. I was like, why are you embarrassing me in front of these people? Like I'm acting crazy. Like I look crazy now. I was like, stop it. Like limp like you were before. At the same time, I'm glad it's maybe just a pulled muscle or a strain and it's getting better. That's what happens. But so then I went to pay the bill and it was like $200. I'm like, are you really? I was like, I gave him my card. I signed it. I was like, never again. I'm not making a follow-up appointment. Never again. 1 time, shame on you. 2 times, shame on me. 3 times, what's wrong with me? Am I crazy? Right? So I'm like, that's what it is. But anyway, that was a whole aside note. That's what I told Red. And when she was walking, I was like, you see this? He's like, what the fuck? I was like, I know. It's like, when you're a little kid and you were like, I'm so sick. And your mom is like, we're going to go to the doctor and get you a shot. You're like, well, I'm not that sick. Like, whoa, pump the brakes, lady. We're not doing shots at the doctor's office. I'm just trying to watch Gilligan's Island today. Don't feel like that math test. Not feeling like a shot, just not feeling like math, right? That's how it looked when we got there. She was like, whoa, I just wanted some attention at the house. I did not know we were coming to the vet to get shots. I did not know that I pushed it this far. I guess falling down and acting hurt at the UPS guy did not get the attention I wanted. Like, I was like, did you just want to sleep in our bed last night and have daddy pick you up, put you in the bed? I'm like, is that what you were going for? So yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was like. Kids and animals. I'm like, really? Why are you embarrassing me? I was like, I'm so glad it's not that, right? But I was tagging people to talk about the wealth of life. And this is what it's interesting, right? Um, I have a journal, and I know this is, I don't know, it's not going to sound crazy to y'all, right? Because y'all are here. She's like, that's a hard note. Yeah, exactly. So I have this YouTube tarot and guided message guy that I watch. This light worker. He's a light worker. I came across him a couple of years ago, just like searching for my Libra, like before I met people that do that, right? Before I knew people that like did it, like I could say, hey, so and so, can I get you a tarot reading, right? Or whatever for Libra. I came across him. Something drew me. It wasn't an attraction like that. Like don't get it twisted, right? Not like ooh, not he's a decent looking dude, but it's not about like that. It was something that attracted me to his energy, right? Something about his background, his voice, just something about him very much calmed me. And it was the first time I'd ever watched a YouTube video, did all of the meditation, listen to he does a sound bath, all the things throughout it for your message. Like for an hour and 30 minutes was engrossed like it was a movie, like watching my computer like this, right? And so I start beginning of every month. So for those of you that don't know, the Mondays of the week, the reason why nobody gets orders on Mondays is I come in after the weekend, and that's the day that I work on my business, right? I don't work in my business, which is in the kitchen, which is hands and butter and all the things. On Mondays, I have to take time to work on my businesses, right? I have to carve out time for Creative Healing Collab with the retreat business. I've got to work out some of my direct sales stuff, just little things I do here and there, little posting and stuff, just following up on orders, stuff like that, which I still need to get that other order placed. I've not done it yet. I've just been lazy. I work on my accounting and my inventory and all the things and new specials and Canvas and all the stuff for Hometown Hippie. I work in the office on Mondays. And the first Monday of the month, I take a little time in the morning after wake and bake usually, or in the afternoon, depends on what's going on, right? And I watch Nicholas Ashball on YouTube for the monthly Libra forecast for the month. And it's Libra Sun Moon Rising or whatever he calls it, right? I understand that energy attraction. That's what happened to me with my mystical life. Yes, exactly. So I don't interact with this person. I'm subscribed to his channel and I get a bell. I just watch these videos. Like I've never had a conversation, none of that. It's just been I watch this monthly YouTube video. And it's posted like the 15th of the month. Like my video for April was posted on St. Patrick's Day, interestingly enough. So anyway, that's what I kind of take notes on for my month, right? And then I come back and sometimes I recall journal. Sometimes I will read through this, and as I'm watching the video, other things will come to mind. It's kind of how I set up my month. It's kind of how I look at things, and I kind of do a meditation before this of asking for some guidance and some direction and some clarity on with this reading and giving me some ideas of where focus areas. It's just kind of some work I do. It's like working on my business, and because I am my business, it's also working on me, right? Wealth of life. And this month, when he did my card, y'all, so much of the stuff that had been coming out of me into the lives, like that I've been saying to y'all, some of the things I've even expressed interest in needing to work on with myself was coming out. That number 3 that kept popping up, that I did like the 333. I was like, look at all the 3s everywhere. It was like the 333 on like a lot. All the 3s that were popping up, that's in here. There is this Heather felt drawn the same night I read this to pull a card for me, and she was like, hey, you got this elk energy. It really resonated with this reading as well. Like she said, that wealth, that elk spirit is with you. Ask, you shall receive. All of these things, right? And the big overall theme, and then I watched Nicholas Ashball, right? And then I know that you should not jump between readers, and I don't jump between readers. I really don't. Like, I don't go watch everybody. But there's these two guys, and Nicholas Ashball is the one that I like take notes on. And then after I take notes on Nicholas Ashball, so this is just honestly how I do it, and this is how Source, I think, communicates with me, because I do it these two ways. So I watch Nicholas Ashball, I take my notes. Then I go watch, and I don't even know the other guy's name. I see his videos, they pop up, and I can't even speak his name right now. I can't even say it. I'm going to pull it up on YouTube because it's probably saved, like, right, boom, the first one I look at. I watch his Libra for the month. And then the things that are very common, the cards that are like in both, the messages that are in both, his name, Libra part 1, Minnow Pond Tarot. So Minnow Pond Tarot and Nicholas Ashball are the two that I watch. I'm going to hit this camera and go get my fan. I'm hitting the camera only because the niplets are out and I'm not in a position to be able to hide them when I stand up. So I'm going to stop the camera, grab my fan. I'm going to keep talking while I do that, though. So I watch both of them, and the one that and some of the themes that resonate with both are the things that I really know that I need to, like, highlight, circle, so I go through, and the things that have been said both places are the things that I kind of focus on initially. So, with that being said, on that reading this past Monday, y'all, there was almost the entire reading was identical. Plus, I had to do that. The theme was like jumping out at me, and I have been saying it out loud to y'all. It has been yelling in my head. So I was like, okay. So number one thing that I took away from this, right, is that I need balance. And it kept saying, heal thyself. Why not me? All of these things, right, were in this thing. And it was talking about 2x4 therapy. He talked about how he was going through and getting the same kind of message, and he wouldn't, like, stop and do what he was supposed to do or whatever, and he ended up falling off of his bike, or like having a biking accident and like getting a really bad concussion, or falling down and hitting his head, and how the universe will give you 2x4 therapy. And that means I'm like, holy shit, like, this is crazy. And so I'm like, I know that that's what the universe is telling me, right? I know that I get the message, right? Get the message that there's more to the cliff than the edge. There's more to this journey that you're on than being an example of how you can work really hard with your hands hurting, right? That's the edge of the cliff. That's what I'm saying, right? There's more to the push. There's more than the push, right? There's the push off, stand up, look at the view, right? Listening but not hearing, yes, right? And here's the thing, though, Heather, interestingly enough, I hear it every time. I hear it, but I don't listen, right? Listening but not hearing, right? I say I heard it, I didn't listen to it. And that's where I mess up. I flip that, right? I listen. I heard you, but did I listen to you? I can hear noises, but did I listen to see what the meaning was, right? Did I listen for the underlying message? Did I listen? And, one of the things that kept coming in, right? Not everything is for everybody. Everything that calls your name is not for you, even if it calls your name. And I put a thing on my story today, right? If it calls your name, it does not mean everything that calls your name is not for you. Things call my name all the time. People call me all the time and ask me to do stuff, and it's not always for me. 420 Fest was one of those things. It was not for me this year, but it was for somebody else. This wasn't for me, right? And it called my name. Not everything calling your name is meant for you, but listen in case it keeps calling, right? Listen in case it keeps calling. So it's interesting too because good morning, Lisa. It also gave me this thing about like my love life and like how this is going to work and all the things, right? And it said that they thought that the love interest and the sign that this was all about, like the love side of it, was Taurus. And my husband's a Taurus. I was like, holy shit! And we've been on this journey together, and we this year, and we have both talked about growing into our power, and re-examining our communication skills and things that like I assumed, like not assuming. And we've been talking about that. And like whenever like something hurts my feelings, I stop and I'm like, hey, what just happened hurt my feelings and here's why. I don't want to assume that. And if I don't get this out and clarify it with you, then I'm going to sit here and be angry and assume. And he was like, what? And he's like, not at all. And then it's cleared up so much stuff just from us being able to communicate. And I told him, I said, please do the same thing. Because sometimes I'll say something and I'll see him like get this look of disgust. And I'm like, I don't know where that look of disgust came from. And if I call him out on him, like, hey, you look like you were pissed when I said what I just said. Good morning. Can I ask you why? He's like, well, because you said this. I'm like, no, I assumed you. I was like, no, I didn't mean that. So we are working very diligently on picking up on our cues to where if communication is not being clear, and I'm saying like, even if I told Russ, like, even if it gets annoying, right? Even if it gets annoying where I stop myself, because I want to be able to ensure that we don't continue to make same poor communication choices because it makes people kind of drift apart, right? And I told him, I was like, I'm not going to get into that today. We're not going to get into that today. We're going to stay on topic. Okay. So it says the Eight of Wands energy was coming in, which says success is coming in faster than expected. And it says there's a moves are coming that's going to change your life. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, everybody. I love that, Katrina. I love that. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. And it was all this was like, it was like Eight of Wands. It was like success coming faster than expected. Sing your own song, live your life. Nine of Pentacles, get to work. Card of Focus was a Falcon. Eight of Pentacles was a jackpot energy, it said. It had grapes, and it said there was grapes, and on the cards it had like lots of grapes on the cards he was using, and he said that shows knowledge and wisdom, growing a different business. It says you have different things you want to do, and you have the ability to do it, but you're going to do better. You're going to do better when you focus your energy and you don't try to do too many things. It was like if your vegetable garden just has tomatoes in it, you're going to be an expert at tomatoes. But when you try to grow tomatoes and cucumbers and all these things for the first time, right, your energy is divided. You'll be a great gardener, but you won't have a specialty in the garden, right? So you have the ability. So you're smart. The thing was, you're smart and you have the ability to grow different vegetables, right? But don't forget where your focus is, right? Are you focusing on being a gardener? Or are you focusing on being a really great ex-gardener? And I thought that was very interesting because that's one of the things I've struggled with. I have struggled with, number one, everything that calls my name wanting to takes my attention for a minute, right? I'm a squirrel, right? How many people can relate to that, right? Is that you get on this path and you have some momentum going, and then it's like, ooh, a squirrel. And sometimes that squirrel is not maybe a new opportunity, but it's like the little bump in the road, right? We get the little bumps in the road, and sometimes bumps in the road can be disguised as good opportunities or good collaborations or things that you think are going to be to your utmost good, but that bump in the road turns out that little bump in the road or that opportunity turns out to be an obstacle or a bump in the road. And then you start second guessing yourself. Does this make sense to anybody but me? Because then you're like, is it ego? And you can't trust your decisions on opportunities. And that's where I get in my head, right? And that's what this reading was about. But it was it talked about all of these things, right? All of these things. Sorry, I was reading. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Let me go over here to this. That was some of them. The bump can turn into a sinkhole real quick. It can if you let it, right? That's because you can't stand on that bump. You can't go stand on the bumps because you're going to sink them down. Let them be bumps, right? Appreciate them for what they are, acknowledge them and release them. I'm going to give you an example. There's a festival on 420 that I was asked to be a part of, and initially I gave lots of it. I like dove in with them. I talked on the phone and took time out of my business to talk to this person for like 2 hours. Talked about pricing, talked about like you shouldn't have kids under 21 there. It's a 420 event. I wouldn't want to go and spend a day. I was like, it's on a Wednesday, which is a tough day. You need to do a lot of marketing for that. People have to take the day off. You're going to have to make it make sense. Run it into the afternoon. I really was like, okay, I'm going to be involved in this. I'm going to be a keynote speaker. I'm going to give tickets. I thought it was going to be a big deal. And then I realized it wasn't. So ego was like, well, you have to stick with it. You've already talked about it. Ego was like, you are involved in this. Ego was like, you could have your name on a flyer. And then Source was like, not everything is for everybody. Right? And I would rather make solid choices based on guided information than ego-driven, personality body-driven choices based on nothing more than ego and wanting to have the recognition. I knew that was ego. I was like, that's just ego. Like, I don't know that I don't think that this is really it, but I've talked about it. Do I have to do it now? And I really did some meditation on it. And this is what this is saying, right? It's like, pick the things you want to do and be okay with that. And know that not everything is for everybody, right? And there's more to the cliff than the edge, right? And that's what the edge, it's for me, the edge is the push, right? It's the this and the that and the this and the that. And I'm like, I needed to sit down and get clear. And it goes back to the classes that I've been talking about with y'all, right? And how to get that kind of focused, getting clear about what you want. And that's what this talked about, was the wealth of life, the balance of life, the yin and the yang, right? The self-care. And this is what he said. He said, I feel like someone's hearing songs, and I hear, I'm like, and he says, it's the Janet Jackson song, What Have You Done For Me Lately? But what Source is telling me is like, what have you done for you lately? What have you done for yourself lately? And it makes journal, when's the last time you took some time for you, right? Yes, yes, yes. That bump can be a message of an obstacle. Exactly. And that's exactly what it was supposed to be, right? And I was blessed for the obstacle. And that's what I always notice. I'm like, okay, there's two types of obstacles or bumps. Hang on, y'all. Somebody's barking. Somebody's barking, which means somebody's here. Let me see what's going on. Come on. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. I was on a roll too. She's barking. You need to come lay down. You're limping really bad today. She's limping really bad today. We have nature going off in my front yard. I will post some pictures on my timeline later. I've got a gang of squirrels. There's 8 squirrels running around my yard chasing each other on the bird feeder. There's 6 different swarms, cardinals and blue jays and cowbirds and turtle doves. There's a pair of geese out there. There's deer out. It looks like Snow White outside right now. And I walked out there. I'm like, holy shit. If I would not been on live, I would still be at the window because it's a lot of nature out there right now. And she was losing her mind because she doesn't like big birds, ducks, geese, cranes. She loses her mind over. So that's what was going on. I had to check her because of her leg. But it was about self-care, right? And there's obstacles. And I said there's 2 kinds of obstacles. Number one, there's the obstacle that is saying, hey, stop, slow down. Stop. This is not for you. We're blocking this because it's not for you. But I also know that not everything that is meant for you, when things are meant for you, sometimes it's hard work. And sometimes it's not an obstacle it's not an obstacle to climb. It's an obstacle to destroy so that you can get down the path you're meant for. And that's where I lose. That's where the discernment comes in. That's where the discernment comes in. Right? Is knowing what obstacles are there to test your grit, to see if you really want it bad enough. because sometimes there's obstacles like that. I believe that wholeheartedly, kind of like the Herculean task, right? Things that you need to do because it's your soul contract. There are things that you have to complete in this lifetime that may not be easy, but they're necessary. And trying to determine which things are that and which things are not that, which things are just obstacles to give you the roadblocks, right? To say, no, not down this path, road closed, right? And that's where the work, the shadow work, the trusting, the knowing, the meditation, the faith, that's where the rubber meets the road, right? That is where the rubber meets the road. So the center card on my drawing was the justice card, right? Finding the balance, do what's right, even when it's hard. And y'all, when he said that, I did an entire live, I think it was Sunday sermon on do the right thing, even when it's the hard thing to do. And he did a little things like that's one of the, that was like, I was like, holy shit. Okay, I hear you. You know what, Lisa? That might be something we do. I do get some Reiki done on her from time to time. And if anybody has any kind of animal healers, send them to me because I would like to have some work done on her for anxiety and things like that. It was also about being able to have balance and delegation. That's a big thing for me, right? It's about pushing, not being pushed, right? And that's what I thought was interesting. And that's what I was going to talk about with the discernment, right? Power versus force. When the obstacles arise, this was the thing that was so interesting, right? If you're pushing to get it done, it's okay. But if you feel pushed to get it done, maybe it's not for you. That's a way for discernment, right? Pushing versus pushed. Yes, I like that. The hard road. It usually isn't the prettiest, but it's the beautiful ending. Right? The ending starts not beautiful, but the ending is, and that's what I picked up on that. Right. This is what can I delegate? What can I release? Things like that. Right. Star card reversed. I had the star card reversed, and he says that's ignoring your higher calling. When the higher calling happens, listen. Stop worrying about others. Be unique, more than a footnote. And he said, you're more than a footnote in history. What you're on the path of right now is your legacy. It's time for you to make history. And y'all, I had to pause that at that moment, and I had the most giant, like, I think I messaged Heather that night. I was like, hey, you ever heard Nicholas Ashball? Because you should check him out on YouTube. Oh my God. He knocked me upside my head. Also said that some other things happened, and it told me exactly what happens. And I'm like, holy crap, that someone I respected, like a teacher, someone I saw as a teacher, and validated something that I did, that it got stuck, and that I can't move past it to trust myself. I need to smooth that over. That was just an opinion. And I need to heal the inner child, because there's a wounded teenager energy behind that. Tanya knows him. Okay. Yes. I don't know. Like I told them earlier, like I was attracted to his energy, and I watch him on the first Monday of every month for my month-long thing. That's before I knew people that did that. And I was very interested in that because something about him, like it just speaks to me. I do Minnow Pond, Nicholas Ashball, and Tanya Lee. Those are the three that I use. And then my guru, my woo-woo guru, Carly, she does a reading with, she uses cards and divination tools in my sessions that I do, esoteric Reiki, sound baths, things like that. So I do like spend money monthly. If I can ever find time to get my sessions again, I do spend money to have that stuff done. And that's some balance on me. But I'm actually going to try to move into like a weekly session. I think I need a weekly session for a little while, energetic massage. And I'm also, Tanya is one of the best. What I'm looking for is I'm trying to find a weekly massage or acupuncture, something that because this reading is, one of those things that was like, okay, you can, I'm telling this to you by using Nicholas Ashball in a pleasing voice with a beautiful aesthetic background and beautiful graphics. And I'm going to give you this information. Source is like, Tammy, I'm going to deliver this message to you as clearly. This was as clear as I've ever gotten a message from Source. And I've been talking about faith and trusting and listening and understanding and hearing. And I was like, okay, I hear you. And it even said, listen to me or I'm going to knock you upside the freaking head and I'm going to hurt you. And I've been on the precipice of like upper limiting myself and like injuring myself, like worse than I should. Like, I'm like, oh, I tripped, almost fell, but I caught myself. I'm like, I feel that the universe is like, one more time, don't listen. One more time, don't listen. I'm going to knock you out, right? So I'm trying to listen. And also, I have been getting work done on my stomach from Carly. I'm like, we go through Reiki and esoteric. And she's like, what are we working on? I'm like, the right arm, always the right shoulder, neck, down the arm, into the, into the hand. It's always this side. If there's any kind of pain in my body, it's where it hurts the most. But the last 2 months, I have been having terrible stomach problems. Like terrible, thought it was an ulcer from all of the just stressing and things that I do sometimes. Not sure what it was. Stomach has been giving me some issues, some cramping, all the things. And he says, I feel like you're having some upper stomach. I'm like, what? This is like a general reading, y'all. And I'm like, what? Yes, solar plexus. I get it. What's going on? So he goes through that about a power dynamic and telling me to stop waiting for everybody else that I want to collaborate with. Start taking the lead the change, manage the time and energy this month, be bold, be outspoken, and spearhead. Yeah. And it's like time, resources, opportunity. What you give is what you get. King of Wands reversed. It's overthinking, fear of someone disagreeing. Use the positive. I know me. I want this. It gave me words to use for affirmation. It says have an open mind. This is something I had like big bold letters. Keep an open mind, but stay true to myself. And I'm like, what better words are that? That was not everything that calls you is calling you, right? It can call your name, but it's not always yours. And the discernment, right, is that I keep an open mind, but stay true to myself. It says is a neck issue on the right side. He talked about that. The wealth was the peacock reversed, the star personified. Spotlight moment this month. This is something big's going to happen this month. And that was the big thing, right? Was that something big was happening this month and it was going to go faster. Both of them like, it's going to be fast. What's going to happen is going to go fast. It's going to grow quicker and be faster than you ever thought. And then I'm like, I'm inside my head about it. You told me that it was time to have some balance and do something for myself. But the message was, and I had to get to the end of this was, right? And this is the craziest thing. He honestly used the words, it's time to elevate. Time to elevate. And it said, work your magic and trust. You are capable of creating something new. Change requires movement. Change requires movement. Stay engaged, believe in yourself. It's time to elevate. So the answer to that is that when I give myself the time to take care of me, I'm going to have the energy to do all the things I need to do to elevate. And he talked about elevation and all the meanings of elevation. And I'm like, it's like he went into my brain and said the words when I was thinking of the name. Oh my gosh. So much stuff. It says destiny. It says face the fear. This month, it's all about educating yourself about your passions. And I've been doing so much research, which is interesting. It says there's a big idea in your head. It's now's the time to take action. You're ready to move forward. When you own it, you will get it, and things will happen fast. Start to see, start to see yourself. He says, act as if. Start to see yourself as that stronger version of yourself. Act as if. And that's how you, that's what I thought was great. Blessings and blocks is what he says. Blessings and blocks. Blessings were that the why me is holding me back, right? That I've broken through. That was the blessing, right? That the why me was holding me back. And when you start saying, why not me, that's going to be your blessing. So your block was the why me. The blessing was the why not me. Healing, it says, you're stronger than you think or anyone else thinks. Yes. It says prioritize your health, prioritize your heart. Happier times are ahead. It says the biggest block this month is illusion versus reality. Embrace what is real. Embrace what is real. It says finding and using your voices. How to look past the pain, how to look past the things that don't serve you to rise up, how to hold space despite of things that are not working. It says make sure you're using the best use of your time. But what I want to talk about, right, was the fact that he does a poll at the end of this. And he's like, okay, I'm going to give you the 3 themes we were talking about. And I want y'all to vote on the theme. And I didn't watch it live, so I couldn't vote on the poll. I'll watch it the first Monday of the month, remember? So they voted, and the theme that they chose, because I said out loud, I'm like, because I always wait while they're doing it, watching the replay, I'm like, I intend that the message that I want to hear is how to elevate and rise up. How we are to elevate and rise up when things are not going in the way that we want them to go. That is the message that I need, right? I talk about elevating all the time, elevated edibles, elevating above the chaos, elevating above the noise, elevating above the sadness. How do we raise the vibration? How do we elevate the vibration of the collective, right? So I definitely wanted to know how I played a role in helping the collective or even myself, because again, power of one, I have to change the world for one person today. And maybe the first power of one is me, and then I can be an example. So how do I do that? And of course, ding, 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 ding. Can I get some thumbs up, some hearts, some O faces, some pound the little things? Because what happened, that's the topic that the viewers poll was how to elevate and rise up. And he pulled the Ace of Cups reversed, which is unrequited, good match for anyone. If someone is unreceptive, let it go. And it was basically saying that the message that I had here was that how do you elevate and rise up is that you learn that this is the biggest thing again. What is not everything is for everyone, and the things that are not for your utmost and best good. There's nothing in the whole entire world wrong, and it is a necessity to release that and let it go. Unreceptive people, you have to make good use of your time. The way that you elevate is by honoring yourself, acting as if, right? So, for example, if I need to treat Hometown Hippie like it is, like it's already a multi-million-dollar corporation, right? I need to have PTO days built in and understand my compensation. I need to act as if. That's the better use of my time, right? Things that are not serving me. Don't spend time from somebody else's business, like that 420 festival. I wish them all the best of luck. That is his business. When I talk to business owners and I talk to other people, my brain automatically like works at a very fast pace. Marketing and creativity and all the things. And whenever people come to me, like, I have this idea, sometimes my brain will like devise this entire like thing they could do, like a marketing strategy. And I have been so bad at feeling like I needed to hash that out and send it to those people as a gift. I'm like, here's what you should do. Here's an idea for your business. I've even had been woken up at night from a sleep thinking about someone else's brick and mortar business. And I'm like, I'm messaging them like, hey, I don't mean to overstep, but you and I were talking and you were talking about you were having issues here and there. I kind of had an idea. Can I share it with you? And I'll give them the idea. They are like, oh my God, that's the best idea ever. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Do you know how many times anyone who owns a business who has either asked for my help or gotten like unsolicited help, who or like all into it, taking notes, talking about it, ready to like, I needed this. Thank you. Do you know how many of them actually implemented anything of the work that I did to help them? Be it, I mean, 1,000,001. Maybe once because it was hard work. And I'm not saying that as a slight. I'm not, because not everything is for everybody. And it could have been one of those things where it was a beautiful distraction, right? That could have been my ego thinking that that's what I'm like, this is where ego comes in. And that's where you don't trust, like the source, because it's a great idea. And if somebody did that, it would work. And I've employed this in my business and it definitely worked. So why wouldn't they try it? And I'll follow back. I was like, hey, did you ever do that? No, I didn't have time. And then I would get upset. Like, I did all that work, right? And this is what this is saying, right? Stop that. Use your time. Act as if. I have to focus. Quality of life and wealth is like not taking those moments and those other times to focus it where I think that people, that was ego. That was ego, right? So now it's about, what have you done for you lately? So I want y'all to tell me in the comments, when is the last time that you did something just for you, without a, like, I went to the store because somebody needed a ride and I ended up going shopping. I'm saying, like, when is the last time you did something just solely for yourself? I got something on my camera. When is the last time you did something solely for yourself? And, I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, I went to the Lion King. That was just solely for me because I really wanted to see that. So, and that was something I really enjoyed. I got my hair done and my eyebrows done. I'm like, you know what? I don't know that made me feel good 100%, but I felt like that was not just for me. That was like grooming, right? It's been a minute, right? And so I am going to put that into my to-do list. I'm going to act as if, because one of the things that I started this business for, number one, was to be able to have freedom of time, to be able to spend time creating memories and taking care of myself and all of that, and enjoying experiences and life and all of the things. It's also about financial freedom to be able to give of myself the way that I want to. And so I am going to continue on with my charitable, like my love mail and things like that, because that suits me. That's something that I enjoy doing. That's something, and I looked at it and I'm like, and I made a list, and that list is between me and me, right? But, some of the things that I looked at on that list were my extracurricular activities. I am going to Savannah with My Miserable Life. That is truly, that's awesome. I'm so excited. I went to my hair done and grabbed lunch. Just me, came home. I love that. That's my favorite kind of day, right? I have a lot of those days. So a couple of things. I'm trying to see if anything came in, because if not, I'm caught up. Awesome. So as of today, like right now, like everything that I owe out that's paid for and done, and all the things, even the things that aren't exactly paid for yet, but I know they're going to, all of that is done. Like, I cooked my ass off this week. That's done. So today, what do I have to do? Right? What do I have to do today? So I've got some laundry going. I had to do my live this morning. I can't believe I've been on this long. I'm sorry. I've been on here long. I've been rambling today. I got to go across town and go shopping. I need to pick up some stuff. I'm going to call my sister and see if she wants to do lunch today, because why not, right? I haven't seen my sister in a while. I have to go to Blackstone at some point and get something. They said that my shirts were not going to be done today. And I'm like, how many are done today, right? I'm heading to the Umbrella. I'm going to see what that is. I'm going to try to see what that is. Headed to the beach. I'm going to guess that's the beach. And that's also because you're in Delaware on the beach. So I think that's a beach umbrella. I couldn't see it. I had to look on my other phone. So I made a list, right? And I made a list of the things that are definitely for me, that I know that are for me, things that are for me right now, things that are I'm gonna see them through and then kind of be done with them. Um, and then the biggest thing is the acting as if. Even if I don't feel like I have free time, I need to have free time. I'm allowed free time, right? So I am this weekend, fancy me. So tonight, number one, I'm going to my dad's house because my niece turned 21 yesterday, and we're doing dinner at my dad's house tonight. He's doing some burgers and some chicken on the grill. I'm probably gonna try to make her a little box of something fun because she does partake, and it's her birthday. She's 21. Finally, she can. I said until you're of age, I'm not gonna, but when you're 21, it's different. And then tomorrow, my commercial client out in Lynchburg, they are having a birthday party. It's the wife's birthday at Smith Mountain Lake, and they invited us up. And I am doing a dosed birthday cake, which is going to be fun. I'm doing a dosed birthday cake, and then he asked me to do 2 dozen of undosed cupcakes that are half or gluten free. So I'm doing a gluten free German chocolate cupcake and a German chocolate cupcake that is not gluten free. And I'm going to make the gluten-free ones like round cupcakes, and then the ones that are not gluten-free are going to be the square cupcakes, like I do the little square cakes. So they'll know the difference. So I've got to do that. I got to make some coconut oil. And, but I'm going to take a little bit of woosah time today. Hopefully I can go to Blackstone and pick up some things and go meet some people. But we'll see how that goes, Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's also a chance to meet some new people and, network and all the things, because it also has a dual purpose. Like, I will write this trip to Lynchburg to the lake off of my taxes as a business trip. But it's also to go because we don't, meet them. Like, they're not our friends yet. Like, we've met them a couple of times. We've talked to them on a business standpoint, but now we're moving into like, let's get to know each other on a bigger level. So we're excited about that. So we are working on Peace, Love, and Feast Fest. I'm the person I was partnering with. He's been on vacation for spring break. I saw they were traveling, so I didn't bother them. But when he gets back in the office on Monday, I'm going to give him a call about the river float, all the information on that if you're local. But what I want to tell you is that if you are struggling with balance, if you are struggling with feeling like you're on the edge of the cliff, right? I want you to remember there's more to the cliff than the edge. Step back, enjoy the view. If you feel like you're about ready to fall and jump off of the cliff, make yourself step back, right? Make yourself step back, take some deep breaths, and decide, is this cliff the one I need to jump off of, or is this cliff the one that I need to enjoy the view on? Because there's been plenty of cliffs that I've stepped off the edge of because I needed to, right? I needed to get off that cliff and go find my next mountain to climb. But if the cliff that you're on is a cliff that you should probably build on, right? I'm on that cliff at this point in my life, right? I'm on the cliff at this point in my life where I'm ready to build the house and enjoy the view. From time to time, I'm going to walk to the end of the cliff and I'm going to be like, but my goal is to stay on the edge or enjoying the view. It's not to jump off this one, right? This is not the cliff I'm going to die on, right? This is the hill I'm going to die on. It's the cliff I'm going to stay on, right? But enjoy the wealth of your life, right? And that's the wealth of your life. Sometimes, and we're all in different places. And when I talk about this whole like designing and deserving and defining, again, right? The way that my cliff and the way that my hill looks and the way that my looks is different than what yours is. But what I want you to do is, no matter what it is in your life, at least know what your cliff looks like. Be able to define your cliff, right? Be able to define your happiness, define your wealth in life. My wealth in life and your wealth in life could be two totally different things. That's why I don't tell you about how to like go out and get a house or how to go get the car you want. That's never the discussion that we have. My discussion is always about you. My discussion is always about how to elevate your manifestation to suit your life, right? And you need to define what that manifestation, what that wealth, what that balance, what that cliff, whatever it is, looks like for you. Um, Act as if, right? Act as if you're already there. Um, I don't say fake it till you make it. I think that's garbage advice, right? I say face it till you make it. But definitely know what you're trying to make. And it's hard to make something if you don't know what you're trying to make, right? So go out today, give yourself some time to take some deep breaths and enjoy the beautiful day if it's a beautiful day where you are. Any day that you're above ground, in my opinion, is a beautiful day. So go out and take some deep breaths, enjoy the fresh air, put your feet in some dirt if you need to. It is the weekend, and it's TGI Friday. And I'm gonna let y'all know you're gonna get an extra history, like global, like morning post tomorrow, because I did my days wrong, so I had to reschedule one of those history posts, and it didn't make sense unless I just moved it until tomorrow because of the ways that the other stuff I'd written. So getting a bonus history lesson tomorrow morning, but besides the point. I also want to tell y'all that I got, you know how stickers speak to me. Another one came and said, just breathe. And I'm like, okay, I'm saving that one too. All the just breathe I'm keeping. They'll go in special boxes from time to time. You'll know if you get a breathe one, it's a special box. Speaking of boxes, we've got 2 more days to claim your Munchie of the Month box. 2 more days to claim your Munchie of the Month box. April showers bring May flowers, $22.22. It's our monthly subscription box. It is going to give you your pack of Be the Change wildflower seeds. Of course, April showers. Those are the flowers that you get the May flowers. You get 10% off any additional add-ons to that order when you get that box. You're going to get that free prize egg, which the prize egg, oops, sorry. I thought I thought I was covered. I just stretched, did not need the nipples to be saying sorry, y'all. You get the peanut butter chocolate egg in there, either vanilla, white chocolate or dark chocolate, and you get the prize egg with one egg in one of those boxes valued at $50. People been getting free treats, money off their next orders, all kinds of stuff in your egg. So make sure you open your prize egg. But you do have 2 more days to claim that. And there's add-ons, there's all kinds of things. We are going to roll into next week with some new fun stuff that'll be updated on Sunday. I'm not stressing over it today. I know what I want to do next week, so I got that in my head. But on that note, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go switch my laundry around. Act as if you got to do laundry. I need some bras to put on so the nipples are not showing everywhere today, and my bras are in there. Don't know, bra washing day. It's just what it is today. This morning's what it is. I am going to go get in the shower. I'm going to go do the dishes from dinner because I didn't have the energy to do it last night. I was like, it'll be all right. So they're stacked in there neatly, and they're going to be unloaded and loaded this morning. I'm going to then run a batch of coconut oil today while I'm doing all the things. And I'm going to just kind of, enjoy the afternoon. Oh, washer and dryer. I am so glad I got a bunch of boxes. Yes, you're welcome. Yes, and you were TT2. You have a really good surprise coming too. I hope you like pineapple, Tanya. Because I'm going to tell you what you got. Tanya Lee with the 222nd order and the Munchie of the Month box, and she got a free pineapple upside down cupcake. So I like to stick fun stuff in there. So that's always a fun treat. I've been pulling angel numbers and different, I just love to give stuff away. So enjoy your free treats and all the things. But if you have a friend that needs one, let me know. It's a great gift. Next week, we will open up our elevated Easter baskets. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these available. I've got 3 pink, I think, and 2 blue. These are the little elevated Easter baskets. This is what it'll come in. It'll be in this is a soft thing. It'll be packaged with this, so you can have an actual Easter basket to put it in. So you get a little Easter basket, the elevated Easter baskets. And it's going to have some coconut cake in there, some bunny rabbit coconut cakes, and it's going to have some other fun stuff in there, the normal treats, Easter egg candies. I've got some Easter egg molds and some flower molds and things. I'm making some truffles and some dosed candy, chocolate truffles and things like that. So I've got some things up my sleeve, right? So if you need to get someone an elevated Easter basket, I want to keep sending gift boxes each month. I don't know, everyone could help me with picking someone. Oh, that's awful sweet of you. Heather, you can just, if you want to, I'm going to make you an admin here in the group, and you are welcome to pick or run a contest or whatever you want to do in the group. You're more than welcome to do that. And let's talk about making sure you get a little discount on that too, because I love people that give and pay forward. It's awfully nice of you. But on that note, I am going to get off here. I've been on here for an hour and 25 minutes, way longer than anticipated. I thought it was going to be like one of those 15-minute lives this morning because I just woke up. But from the beginning of the conversation, here's the one thing I'm going to tell you. Last night, I did that white chocolate peanut butter egg, and I did not need to activate that. It activated itself. Before I came to bed, I got super like goofy stoned. If you look at my story, you'll see my face picture of like, I was so high. Red's like, really? Really? I was like, what? He's like, this means that every time I roll over tonight that you're still awake, all stoned, you're going to start talking to me like, are you awake? And I was like, I promise you I won't. And I got in bed last night and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sleep my head off. And I did. I slept. But right when I got in the bed, I laid down and I was like laying there and like I was facing Red and he had his back to me. Like I was facing his back. We were both laid on the same side. Like he was facing the outside. And I just laid down and I was like, my eyes were open and he rolled over. Red, R-E-D, my husband. My husband is not one to be on a live. I'm going to try. He said that he'll think about it. He'll think about it. It's James Nelson. You'll see him up there. You can just stalk his profile. I think y'all should all go comment on his Facebook that y'all want to meet him on a live. Go burn him up. So we were laying there and I'm like looking at his back and he rolls over and we were like eye to eye. We're like, and I was like, everything in me wanted to be like, hey, are you awake? But I was like, I promised I wouldn't. So I sat there and he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, and then I was like, he's like, I can't with you. And he just flipped back over and I was like, sorry, I lost it. I was never going to say a word. But when he rolled over, I was like, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do it. And I didn't. And he did it. I was like, you said something to me. I said nothing to you. He's like, I can't with you. I can't with you. So like, I love you too. He's like, good night. So yeah, poor thing. So I keep nothing with you, Tammy. I was like, no, you cannot, baby. You cannot. I'm too much to handle. But that's it for today, y'all. Don't forget, as always, peace, love, and feast. Stay elevated. I'll see y'all later. Bye.